By taking popular advice to make a game design document, you may easily kill your creativity and end up in a bad design medium. Seeing online spaces with people just getting into games, I see many thinking they need to use a game design document because they heard the term somewhere or something like that. But this blind assumption is a mistake. The worst game design document ever. The most awful thing is I took a quote game design class in high school, and they had us pre-supply enemy health numbers, what sprite PNGs we'll use. It was like UML diagram programming, but we were designing a full-on game on paper. Nothing good comes of this. Why a prototype is better. Miyazaki uses storyboards. Animation is a visual medium, and so Hayao Miyazaki directly thinks visually. Games are an interactive medium, so just as a screenplay can't tell you how an animation will turn out, a design document can't tell you how a game will feel to play. It is not a tactile design space. A communication tool for large companies. My perception is that with large teams, a design document is meant to communicate an idea from someone who does not know how to program. But if you're a programmer, there's no point, and you can keep the ideas in your head, make little notes, and write an early version or prototype that communicates your game. Some big companies use focus groups and often fail to gauge what is good, so they're not even a good authority. Where a design document might help. The document is not itself a design space. It's not a choose-your-own-adventure. My guess is that if you are a professional game designer, you already know how to design games without a document. And so your job is easier. Communicate what you already know to a large team quickly with a document. If you don't have a larger team, then you don't need to make the lossy interfacing costs of communicating something that is tactile in your head into words which can't convey much. What do I do? You don't have to do what I do. Through dimorphism, we can make more interesting things as a society. But I definitely avoid design documents because I'm a programmer who can put my ideas directly into games. I start with a vague idea. I've been programming and playing games for a while, so rule sets are very tactile in my head. For You Want to Watch the World Burn, I thought about how a world can be eaten by fire spreading mechanics, and I thought about how I can give the player desperation. Then I immediately programmed those mechanics and a few unique ways for the player to set the world ablaze. For Journey to Ruin, I had a vision of a Daggerfall-style roguelike. My love of analog velocity controls involving the mouse had me design the sword mechanics as I did, and reuse those mechanics for spellcasting and blocking with your shield. For Extreme Golf, I started with a simple rule set in my head, and then added some basic tiles, and then I added tiles that were counterpoints, and unique mechanics that played on the existing interesting things. For World of Squares, my MMO in development, I started with divergent thoughts. I woke up with a vague idea of something really cool, like pulling many wagons on a horse, or riding a boss's bubbles to the ceiling, or manipulating the world with sand physics, or emulating a violin with your mouse as the bow and each row of keys being a different string. Then I would implement that idea. I did this so many times until the game was full of interesting things that bring me joy. And this is my goal for World of Squares. Overall, I am very tactile. I have a brief vision, then use that to implement a full system. Very few constraints let me be creative with how I program the system. My advice to not use a game design document does not mean you shouldn't write down words that help you remember useful things. I just recommend learning to code as a design space for fleshing things out. Conclusion. Don't feel pressured to use a design document just because it's a word you heard, someone else used it, or a badly designed class by non-industry professionals had you do it as busy work. It's a very niche thing, and if you really need it and have the experience to justify that need, you'll know. Otherwise, it's not worth it. If you're interested in learning game development or furthering your craft, enjoy this book I wrote. Awesome Game Dev has many anecdotes, inspirations, and useful resources to learn from. I sought to push your brain in interesting directions for the sake of the craft. available on Amazon via the link in the description.